Salve omnes. So to help you prepare for your final exam, I've put up this little video to guide you through the Philosophia story in stage 32. This comes from textbook pages 244, 245, and compared to in the book, I've cut out a little bit of the kind of action around it and narrowed it down mostly to the parable of the poor man that Eupor tells, and then a little bit of the aftermath. So here we go. Primum fabula brevis mihi narranda est. So first, a short story, a short fable must be told by me, right? So narranda est, that nd tells you gerundive. Narranda est makes it a passive periphrastic, and then the mihi there is in the dative. And remember, with passive periphrastics, you actually get a dative of agent. So even though it's dative, it doesn't mean to or for, but here it means by me. So first, a short story must be told by me. Olim, once upon a time, there was a poor man, homo pauper. Hic pauper, this poor man, remember Romans put their verbs at the end, so this poor man had a little farm, fundum parvum, a very good wife, optimum uxorum, notice the superlative, right, so bonus melior optimus, very dear children, carissimos liberos. So careful, libertos are freedmen, liberos are children. So the free people in your house are your children. So he had a little farm, a great wife, and very dear children. He solebat, so those soul words can be a little tricky. This one, the verb, he was accustomed to work hard, to work strenuously on his farm. Ut sibi suisque cibum praeberit. So we've got an ut plus a subjunctive. So if we covered up the T there, we've got an infinitive, slap on the ending, and so we've made an imperfect subjunctive, and we've got to decide what kind of ut clause we're looking at. Remember, our choices are purpose, result, indirect command. So let's eliminate result first. So we look for any tom, talis, tot, seek, ita, adeo, none of that, so not result. We look for any verb of ordering, commanding, begging, persuading. Don't see any of that, so not an indirect command. What's left? Purpose clause. So he was accustomed to work hard in order to provide food for himself and for his people, understood, his family. So for himself and his family. Pauper, neque divitias, neque honores cupiebat. So the poor man wanted or desired neque. Remember, when you get two of them, neither nor. So he desired neither riches nor honors. Numquam nimium edebat, so he never ate too much, nor did he drink too much. And I said did, but it's really nor what he was not eating, he was not drinking. Those are the imperfect. So never was he eating too much, never was he drinking too much. In omnibus vitae partibus, in all parts of his life, he conabatur, he was trying esse to be moderate and temperate, restrained. So conabatur, it's got a tour at the end, but this is conor, conare, conata sum. And remember, a verb with an R at the end of its first principal part, conor, is going to be deponent. Ken Kanata could tell you that means it's pifame, passive in form, active in meaning. So that conabatur, it's got the aorist tour ending, but the meaning is active. So he was trying to be restrained and moderate. But pauper passus est multos casus. The poor man suffered. Again, another deponent, pati or pati. We get the word patient, mean that you can kind of endure boredom if you're patient, or if you're in the hospital, you're a patient. And then from that, the last part, passus est. So the PPP, present of to be, together makes the perfect tense. So he suffered multos casus, many calamities, many sufferings, many downfalls. And so casus, that's going to be a fourth declension, and us could be genitive singular, nominative plural, or accusative plural, and the multos tells us got to be accusative plural. So the poor man suffered many downfalls, many sufferings, many misfortunes. Anim, for he amisit libros et uxorum, he lost his children and his wife when a morbus gravissimus, a very serious illness, afflicted them. Fundum amisit, he lost his farm when milites eam diripuerunt, when the soldiers ripped it apart. Libertatem amisit, he lost his freedom when ipse, he himself, venditus est, was sold into slavery by the soldiers. So he had a pretty rough go of it, right? Was having a good life, lost his wife and kids, they got sick. Lost his farm, soldiers ripped it apart. Lost his freedom when the soldiers sold him into slavery. Nihilo minus, nevertheless, quia stoicus era, because he was a stoic. He patiebator, this is the same verb as passus est, so he suffered or he endured res adversas, so things turned against him. So together we might just consider that like adversity, or so difficulties, difficult matters. He suffered difficult matters always with an aequo animo, with a level mind. So those in the ablative, no preposition there, and so remember you can just use fwib, from, within, by. So here, with a level mind, with a calm mind. So he suffered adversity always with a calm mind. Neque neque, he detestabator, he was cursing neither the gods nor men. And notice here, detestabator, this verb is a deponent, but it's probably not one that you know just off the top of your head. However, you can do the same thing that you always did with the PPP deps, right? So you've got a verb form that looks passive. It's got that tour at the end. But deos, homines, those are accusatives. So you got something that looks passive, but it's taking an accusative direct object. That means it's deponent. Denique, finally. Confectus senec tute laboribusque, so worn out by old age and by his labors, he tranquille, calmly, tranquilly, mortuus est, died. Ille pauper, that poor man, quem homines miserimum existimabant, whom people considered very miserable, re vera, in fact, in truth, Felix era, was happy. Right, so that poor man whom everybody thought had lived a terrible life, well, actually, that guy was happy. And Haterius, remember, all of this is taking place at Haterius' birthday party. They've been having that lavish banquet. So Haterius cacinans, the pap, NS and NT, so cackling, laughing loudly, said, Num felicem eam existimas. So surely you don't think that that guy is happy, who passus, who suffered so many misfortunes. Haterio hoc roganti responded Euphrosine. So Euphrosine responded to the dative, so to Haterius asking this, right? And so, so to Haterius asking this, the pap nt, all in the dative, so to him asking this, Euphrosine responded, Id quod locuta sum non recta intellega, so that which locuta sum, which I said, and notice because Euphrosine is a female, remember she's a philosophress, that's her big selling point. So that which I said, this is the perfect, you intelligus, you do not understand correctly. Ali egator fabula mihi naranda es. So therefore another story, naranda es mihi, must be told by me. Again, just like at the beginning, gerundive with to be, passive periphrastic. Olim fuit homo dives. So once upon a time, there was a rich man. So she's told the poor man's story. Now she's got one about a rich man. Now, once upon a time, there was homo dives, a rich man. Said consul Sabinus, but the consul Sabinus, whom iam taedebat fabularum exclamavit, who now was grown tired of stories, cried out, Satis Philosophia, so enough philosophy. Come on, mea Euphrosine, da mihi osculum, imo, oscula multa. So enough of that, my Euphrosine. Give me a kiss. Nah, give me many kisses. So remember, this is the highest ranking official in Rome, and kind of being a jerk. So so give me a kiss? No, give me many kisses, says the consul. Rabirius Maximus, however, who when he audivisit haec, so the isse tells you pluperfect subjunctive, so when he had heard these things, and the use of the subjunctive, of course, a cum clause, when he had heard these things, Ebrius, he's drunk, jumped up and said, Sceleste, scoundrel, noliem tangere, don't touch her. Haec locutus, so PPP dep, having said these things, poculum vino plenum in os Sabini in Yakit. Uh-oh, things are getting real now. He in Yakit, he threw a cup plenum vino full of wine in os Sabini, in the face of Sabinus. Statim res ad pugnum venit. So immediately the situation came to a fight. Pocola yakie bantor, lecti everte bantor, toga skende bantor. So we've got all these ntor, three passive verbs in a row. So cups were being thrown, couches were being overturned, togas were being ripped. Alii Sabino, Alii Riberio, sub Winnie So some were coming to help Sabinus, others were coming to help Rabirius. Haterius Kurebat was running Hook Iluk. So this direction, that direction. Discordium componere conabator. He was trying to settle the discord, the commotion. However, Nemo, nobody noticed him running and begging, right? So they're all fighting and drunk. They don't even notice Haterius trying to calm things down. Euphrosyne autem, so she, however, having progressa ad Januam triclini, having gone forth to the door of the dining room with vultu sereno, with a calm face, thus addressed the fighting dinner guests. So again, the pap pugnante, so the dinner guests fighting, she addressed thus: En Romani, Domini orbis terrarum, ventris venerisque servi. Oh, Romans, the masters of the world, literally masters of the circle of lands, but that's the way they say the world, slaves of their belly and of Venus. So, all right, so they are masters of the world, and yet this is how they behave. Oh my goodness. So, how about a little bonus action, if you can remember this? So Domini and Servi are in the nominative, Orbis Terrarum and Ventris Venerisque are in the genitive. So whenever you have something that is A, B, B, A order, so so nominative, genitive, nominative. So whenever you have something like that, that has a fancy name. It is called chiasmus. So if you can remember, this line has a chiasmus. That might be worth a little bonus in your life. And also Veneris, meaning they're slaves to their stomach, and to Venus, meaning they're gluttons and they're lusty. So Veneris, they're slaves of Venus, meaning that they are slaves to their passions. Calling passions Venus is an example of a kind of substitution called metonymy. So chiasmus and metonymy, not things you have to know, but if you want to be smart, know those. Quibus, verbis, dictis, comma, because you got the ab there. So with which words, having been said, she profecta est, she set out to the river Tiber, ut navem quaeret, in order to seek a ship. So ut plus the subjunctive here in a purpose clause. So that's it. Good luck studying for your exam, and I will see you on Thursday. Thanks.